am I really? What do I want? These are the kinds of questions we start asking on the journey to more authenticity. And one thing that is inextricably linked to these questions is our relationships. Who am I in relationship to others? How can I be myself in relationships and not lose myself, but also not jeopardize the relationship? Hey everybody, welcome back to Becoming an Expert at Self-Leadership. I'm Maika, a psychologist. And recently I talked about the qualities of the authentic self in contrast to other inner states, the anxious self, the depressed self. And today I want to contrast the authentic self with other people. This knowledge will help you connect to and find your authentic self and be in emotionally fulfilling relationships at the same time. Often we perceive other people and relationships as a threat to our authenticity. This sounds and feels like I can't be myself when other people are around. The energy of others overpowers and confuses me. The expectations other people have are in conflict with me living true to myself. Other people stand in the way of me fulfilling my full potential. The responsibility I have for others cancels out any chance of me living authentically. Based on this, I'm going to call it a perception now. We either give up our autonomy for the sake of our relationships. That's what we would call people-pleasing, being a people pleaser, or we give up our relationships or closeness in relationships for the sake of our autonomy, what we would call a lone wolf. The people pleaser is always on high alert around other people, always vigilant, looking out for what others could need, anticipating their expectations, and then jumping at all opportunities of fulfilling those perceived needs of the people that they're surrounded by. People pleasers over-adapt and over-conform in relationships and give up on their own needs and individuality. The lone wolf is someone who is in an exaggeration of their need for autonomy. This is someone who overemphasizes their boundaries. They don't allow others to come close. They do their own thing without looking left or right in a stubborn and defiant sort of way. This is nobody's business. They need to stay out of it. I don't care what anybody thinks, and I don't need anyone. These aren't personality traits, but coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms for managing our relationships and need for autonomy. And both of these styles rest on the conviction that it's not possible to be in healthy relationships and be true to yourself at the same time. That's what would actually be authentic. The authentic self needs both: other people, relationships, connection, and autonomy, individuality, self-expression. The people pleaser may convince themselves that they themselves are not that important and that they're just happy making other people happy, and that they don't mind the stress and nagging, persistent sense of dissatisfaction. The lone wolf may convince themselves that they're happy on their own, that they don't need anybody else, at least not anyone that gets too close, and that they don't mind the isolation and loneliness. But neither of these stances make it so. You can't give up a part of what it means to be human. And being human means needing both emotional intimacy and space for personal unfolding. That's your authentic self. The lone wolf and the people pleaser aren't. So authenticity in relationships means to learn to integrate and balance both connection and autonomy. That's what will make you feel most like yourself when autonomy and connection are in a healthy, complementary partnership. And often this means working on and refining both connection and autonomy skills. important connection skills are empathy and listening skills, being able to care for someone else, dedicating energy, time, and attention to them, trust, making room for emotional intimacy and closeness, friendliness, charm, and being able to adapt to other people and accommodate another person's needs. And where connection skills begin with empathy and understanding another person's needs, autonomy skills begin with perceiving and allowing yourself to perceive and understanding your own needs and wants. Autonomy skills require you to know what makes you different from the people that you're connected to. This includes an awareness of your values, being able to set goals and make decisions for yourself. And autonomy skills also have this component of representing your knowledge on the outside to other people, being able to communicate your autonomy needs to another person, being able to assertively bring up arguments that speak for your case, communicating and keeping boundaries. If you've got both connection and autonomy skills in your repertoire, you can use them flexibly according to what the situation that you're in requires. Both autonomy and connection skills rest on effective communication, moving from pouting and stonewalling to openly addressing things, having hard conversations, listening empathically, and learning to cooperate. This also means moving from taking too much responsibility for another person or too little for yourself to knowing where your responsibility starts and ends. So authenticity in relationships means to balance being there for other people with being there for yourself. And to know that it's possible to do that. You can be in healthy relationships and maintain your individuality and autonomy at the same time. You can count on and expect this to work out. You can expect to find people that are willing to listen to you, consider your needs, and love you deeply. You can expect to be able to influence and co-create relationships. Speaking about and sharing things from your inner world, addressing issues and differences, empathic listening, and finding ways to cooperate are elements of all healthy relationships that make them stronger. And please trust that you're worth it and that this is something you deserve. Other people and relationships, in other words, don't have to stand in the way of your authenticity. If you learn to be in relationships in an authentic way, you don't have to become a copy of the other person to have a close relationship. Closeness isn't threatened by differences. And you don't have to sacrifice your needs for the other person. Closeness isn't threatened by individuality or time spent apart. Thanks for being here. I also write about these and other self-leadership topics in my weekly newsletter. If you want to hear more and you enjoy reading, you can subscribe to that at the first link in the description box. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Till next time, take care, and remember to bring connection and autonomy into a complementary partnership so that you can live authentically to yourself.